Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be doing a first impression video on Moira Cosmetics products. Today we are having a pretty exciting one, so we are testing out, or I'm testing out first time Moira Cosmetics. So Moira is a US based makeup brand, and I believe this is a independently owned brand. I don't think they're owned by a bigger umbrella company or a conglomerate of some, like some other makeup brands are. And Moira has been previously a brand that if you live in Europe or especially live within inside European Union, you can buy this brand on Boozy Shop, which is a Dutch online makeup retailer, and they are actually a place that gets also Moira's like new releases pretty quickly. Something about you should know about Moira is that they do come out a lot. If you go to their like US website, there is like how should I say, it can get quite overwhelming. So there's also it is like pretty amazing that because I don't think they have that many like outside US retailers that, for example, that we have places like Boozy Shop, you can actually get this brand also with the new products relatively quickly, because as I said, they do come out with a lot and they like keep a lot of their products in stock for quite a long time. However, why particularly I am trying this brand out now, I discovered a few weeks ago that actually Moira is now available in few of my countries' makeup retailers. I can actually go in store and see these products, because this has been a brand that's definitely been on my try list, but as I said, it has been a brand that I would have anyway had to order online, and when making online orders, because you have to pay for the shipping and you have to do the whole waiting thing, so that's the reason why it's just been like always bumped down, because there's been like other products that I would have rather ordered online. But now I can get these in a few of our retailers. We definitely, even though there are now at least I think 2 retailers that I could actually go see the products in store, there definitely isn't like everything the brand has come out with. Also, there aren't like the newest new products aren't available, but there was definitely a good selection. There's been like 3 of their eyeshadow palettes, which one is that we will be testing today, are available. Then they're like both of their liquid blush products are available. So the one in the sort of square compact and one that's in the tube. I have one of the one that's in the square compact also today for testing. Then there were their individual stick eyeshadows. Some of their individual glitter eyeshadows were also available. And also there's one version of their powder was, at least I noticed, and one version of their contour product was also available. That is not something that I didn't buy like either of those products. However, also their baked highlighters were available. However, at least in our retailers there was like only 3 shades, but I did get one because I did want to like test these out. And in terms of lip products, their lip liners and I think few of their one of their glowier lipsticks, and I believe their liquid lipsticks were at least the ones that I have spotted. And I don't know, I do think that there was actually quite a lot of products available, considering that this was like a first launch for them. And I am quite excited to see that we will more of their products make to our retailers if there's like enough sales. And I'm definitely like thinking that if I am liking the products that I try out today, I am going to buy one of the powder ombre blushes. I think those are the blushes that made them very famous on social media a few years ago. Those are already an older product in their line, and maybe trying to see that if there is another eyeshadow palette I want to get from them. But yeah, that's a bit of an introduction to this video. So this is sort of first impressions of a first time trying a brand. And first, as always, we will start with the eyes. Then, as I did already discuss, I have few of their cheek products to try, and I did get one of the glowier lipsticks that they have, so that we'll be trying at the end. But let's now first get to the eye makeup. So as I discussed so far, it seems that there's like 3 eyeshadow palettes that are at least accessible in store, and I got the one A Moment With You. So I believe this was their sort of Valentine's themed collection they came out with a few years ago, and there was also, because this series had 2 of these similar sized palettes, the other one that has been more like lilac pink tones, that's also is something that's available. Also in one of the other retailers that seems to stock Moira, they also did have the sort of cool toned neutral palette that they came out I think last year with a collection where they had 4 palettes. I have seen listed online also a few of the other palettes that came out with the sort of cool toned palette that were all, there was like a 4 palette series along with the cool toned one. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it, and all of them were pretty neutral leaning, and there seems to be that at least online there's marked a few other palettes also in that series are available, but so far what I have seen in stores are the palettes that came out with this collection, the two, and then the cool tone palette that was sort of released last year with the others. This is not as I said, this is not a new release, so you have probably seen this if you have watched any Moira reviews, so this is how it looks like. Something that I did already spot like before we were even starting, it has very pretty looking shimmer shades. I haven't even swatched this. I think I will be making a short YouTube like swatch and or Instagram like reels shorts after I have done like my filming the videos that I have for YouTube today. But this actually doesn't have that much variety in terms of matte, so that's already something that I was thinking when I got this home and started like really looking at this one and thinking, oh, actually in terms of mattes I think we are going to be a bit more limited in terms of what kind of look. So definitely the shimmers are the ones that you will probably be able to get some diversity with this one, because the mattes are pretty all quite neutral leaning. I think again we will be doing this eye as we will always do in my makeup videos. I think the reason why I always choose this side is because I believe when I'm looking at the monitor it's a bit like the lighting condition is a bit better because there's the sunlight comes out of the window. So we'll do this eye, then I will do the other eye off camera, then we will clean it up with that concealer, and then we will look how the eye look will come out, and then we will move to cheek products. But as I said, in terms of mattes we are a bit on the limited side of things, but let's first start with this shade all over the crease. So this is the Even More shade, so it is the palest from all of the shades, and let's just take a and I think this is, for example, I think Jen Phelps, for example, is a YouTuber that I have seen that has reviewed a lot of Moira's products, and my impression has been that this is a brand that definitely has gotten quite a lot of positive reviews. They are pretty decently priced. I think from the eyeshadow, the store I got it from the day, they did actually have a -25% from all makeup products, so I did actually get a discount from this, so that's also was quite like positive. But I think the normal price of these palettes in our retailers are around 24-25 euros, so they're actually pretty decently priced. And something that I did not mention was that the palette, like, it feels very heavy for being a cardboard palette, so it's not flimsy packaging. There's definitely like weight to it, so these don't like also like some of the products are definitely a bit like on the drugstore side in terms of packaging, but at least with the palettes there seems to be a real effort put into the packaging and making them feel that they aren't like just sort of average drugstore quality. But yeah, that blended in quite nicely, but it's a neutral brownish crease shade. I would be pretty like surprised if that was difficult to blend. Next I think we will do so that I will, because I said we are a bit limited with the matte selection of this one, so I will actually be trying to create depth with some of the shimmers, because there are actually some very deep shimmers in this one, so I will do creating depth with those. But for the sort of lower part of my lid we will go with the other brownish shade. So it's this one, So Real in this corner, so we will get a bit more sort of depth, and then we will do the outer part of the lid with one of the darker shimmers. Yeah, this is pretty easy to, I'd say this builds quite quickly, and this is pretty easy to like generally work with, but again these are basic neutral shades, so it would be like a bit worrying if these were hard to work with. Those did kind of blend in together. I don't think there were like actually that much differentiation. But yeah, that was pretty quick. Okay, now let's get to the... So with the deep shimmer we will first, that I will put the outer part here. I will try this one. So this is the With You over here. And this actually feels pretty creamy to the touch. So it is definitely a deeper almost like deep chocolate brown shimmer, and we will do this. That feels very, the shimmer, at least this one feels like almost it's a bit like creamy. It's not, doesn't feel like it's like that emollient that it will start creasing immediately, but it is definitely on the like more more creamier side, so that's just something to consider, but it doesn't so far at least feel that it's too emollient where you're going to be afraid that it's going to start slipping all over your lid. That's actually pretty, yeah, that's pretty like awesome. Yeah, so far I'm liking that, and because that was a bit more creamier formula, it actually like blended almost itself. What are we gonna use to the sort of middle part of the lid? There are a few colorful shimmers. There's the pink and like the two shimmers over here. Those are a bit on the like colorful side, but they are also more on the deeper side. So for the middle part of the lid, I do want to put something that's a bit more so brighter. So I think we will go with the orange one, so sort of matching this sort of neutral, warm, well not warm leaning but neutral look. So we will try this Memories one that has the heart embossing in it. That feels a bit harder to... So I'm not sure is this meant to be a more top or relaxed shade, because that doesn't feel as creamy as the sort of deeper chocolate shade we just used. Let's see how it's gonna... Okay, yeah, that is more sheer. It does layer quite well, but with this one you definitely have to put, if you want to get like full opaqueness, you have to put 2 layers. It's not as opaque as the one we used to the outer part of the lid, but it did blend in pretty well with the rest. I actually don't feel that we will have to do too much work. Yeah, so this is how the final look for today looks like, and actually these did blend in like very seamlessly. I don't have to do, I think I will just quickly use the first matte shade that we used all over to blend out the edges, but really these worked like pretty seamlessly together, like with the shimmers and the matte. So at least based on first impressions, pretty impressed with the quality, and especially considering the price point of this, because 24-25 euros for a palette, that is quite, it is like in the higher drugstore side, but I do have to say that there are a lot of palettes on drugstore side, for example in my country, where I've always said that, for example, eyeshadow palettes are not something that at drugstore prices you can get too many good quality ones, but this one definitely like pretty good. Pretty impressed so far. But yeah, I'm gonna now go off camera. I will do the other eye, then we will do the cleaning up, and next we will move to the cheek products that I have from the brand. So next with cheek, so off camera I did the other eye. This is how the sort of end result looked like so far. Pretty happy with the eye look. And I went over with the powder all over my face, and I also put my bronzer on, because the bronzer that I'm using today is not a Moira product. And yeah. So 2 cheek products we will be trying out that are from Moira. So first is this one, and this is one of their cream blushes, and this is in the shade 06 Miss You from the Loveheat Cream Blushes. So it's a pretty hot pink shade, but I think because we're now on the summer season, it's pretty appropriate. And now let's see if I'm gonna be able to get this open, because it's quite small, that place where you can put your finger in, and this is how it looks like. Let's see, this has been quite a popular product from the brand, I think, and I do believe they have recently, actually they did a shade extension with shades in this line, but I think what our retailers had were like sort of the older shades, so I don't think there were like any of the new shades they have in this, but there was like, I think, a decent selection of the shades, at least in, well, our bigger department store that had that I got the highlighter and that we will be seeing later, they only had like 3 shades available in store, but at the smaller makeup retailer they actually had like, I think, 5 or 6 shades available. But I will be using a denser blush brush, and we will be, I'm tapping pretty lightly because I have no idea how pigmented these are gonna be. Maybe I'll do this, that I actually tap some excess to my hand, so we aren't gonna get anything like super. Yeah, and that is definitely a punchy pink shade. So these do pack a punch. So if you are buying especially any of the bit deeper shades, be aware that you don't need a lot. I think it was a pretty good thing that I did tap the brush off to my palm of my hand before putting this on my cheeks. I do think it is blending quite nicely. Now let's do the other cheek. So it's not, I'm gonna something positive to say about this. I was kind of worried because I've seen some of the promo images of these particular blushes and the promo images make them look like they're very emollient, so I was quite afraid that these are gonna be one of those cream blushes that are pretty like slippery and possibly sticky and don't dry down, but these do actually, it is quite, I'd say, it's not like also a super stiff formula where it's hard to pick up, but I think the formula seems like okay in terms of the fact that it's not gonna be something unless it's very like warm conditions, so it's not gonna be something that like melts all over your face, and these do actually seem to be drying down. Yeah, it is definitely a more punchier pink shade, but I do think I did manage to make it look quite nice. I perhaps did go a bit patchy on that particular spot, but yeah. Okay, so this one, so far pretty happy with it. I'm gonna keep testing this out because I am a person who has tried now a lot of cream blush formulas, so I have to keep trying out and seeing how this positions with other cream blush formulas that I own, and so then I will be able to at some point give a final review of this one. But at least first impressions pretty good. So the highlighters, so I said that we had like 3 shades of, so these are the Dreamlight highlighters, and I got the 01, which is Dreamlight, and like I said, unfortunately there wasn't, because this has, I think, for example, if you go to Moira's website or Boozy Shop's website, I do think there's like, do they actually have like 9 shades? Like this has a pretty extensive shade range if you're buy these online, but our local retailers only had 3, and this is for the one for the fairest skin. I am a bit worried. This is more, I did swatch this quickly in store, and it is on the sparklier side, so we shall see, as someone who is in their 30s and who has already texture on their cheekbones, how this is gonna, cheekbone area, so how this is gonna go. And same thing, dabbing my brush and dabbing a bit excess off, and oh, that is definitely, we are on the more blinding side of things, and it is perhaps not melding in with the, because the highlighter has a bit of a yellow base to it, and it is not perhaps mixing the greatest with the pink, bright pink blush underneath it. Oh yeah, that is certainly highlighting. So first impressions, if you don't like a super sparkly and super blinding highlighter, I would perhaps skip these. These are, and I know it's not helping that I'm reapplying it, but I'm just trying to get it to look even. Okay, that's pretty. I'm doing what I always do, so I'm gonna go over with the blush brush to trying to blend these in a bit, because now it's looking pretty. At least in my mirror, it is looking pretty like casty at the moment, because the yellow base is definitely not mixing with the bright pink underneath. Okay, so we are going to keep testing out this one, but so far first impressions, if you don't like a super blinding highlighter, skip these and maybe look for some other options, because these pack a punch. If you like a super blinding highlighter, then this could be a formula to look into, and these weren't that expensive. These were like 12 euros or something, so very affordable. I don't think per se there's like issue with the blending or anything, but it is definitely, now that I'm looking at from my mirror, it is like you can see that it's there and it's pretty obviously there. So yeah, so for those who like a super bright highlighter, this could be an option to look into, but for those of us who might look something a bit more toned down, then perhaps not the first choice, but yeah. I'm gonna now sort of go with my setting spray, and then lastly I will be showing the lip product that I got. We're getting to the last part of this sort of try-on. So for the lipsticks, we are having their signature lipsticks, and this is in the shade 20 Blushed. So this is a more mauvish, as you can probably see from the lip liner, so this is a more mauvish toned lipstick, and this is, I think, they're more like shimmer, because they recently came out with I think satin lipsticks. Those weren't available at neither of our retailers, however those are available on Boozy Shop if you're in Europe and you want to try them. But these are sort of more glossier lipsticks. I think they came out with the line of these like last year. And this is again something that I have, a product that I have seen positive reviews from, so this seems to be pretty popular from them. But let's now get it to the lips and see how it feels like. I did swatch this in the back palm of my hand, and it does feel a bit maybe more like a lip gloss or balm rather than a traditional lipstick. Okay, that didn't completely, I think my lip liner was a bit more warmer than the lipstick itself, but it did go. Okay, so this was much more opaque from the get-go, what I initially thought, at least based on the hand swatch that I did. So actually this did build on the lips quite quickly. This is very like, I'd say, feels very hydrating, and it is very like definitely one of those more like glossier lip formulas. This is definitely a product that most likely when I will eat or drink, this will wear off immediately. So if you don't like a lip formula that wears off super quickly, then maybe don't go for these ones. But first impression so far is that these feels very comfortable, very easy. It is a bit on the, I'd say, when you apply it, a bit on the slippery side, so maybe just like be slow with the application, because as I said, I was initially thinking that this has a bit like buildability to it, but it actually was quite pigmented from the first application. So if you have a smaller lip shade, then maybe be a bit slow with this one, because this does actually build quite swiftly when you start applying it. But yeah, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I think we are done with trying out the products, and now let's go to maybe some short first conclusions about this sort of first try on. Okay, we are actually not gonna let the hair down, because I need to wash my hair. It's getting pretty, I'd say, on the creasier side, so we will be having my hair held up for this one, and I am actually going to film my makeup news video after this one, so you will be seeing the same look. You will be seeing this look before posting this video, because the makeup news videos I usually post as the first video for the week, and you will be seeing this sort of try on video later. But yeah, anyway, regarding the products, I'd say so far the ones that I am impressed with, the eyeshadow palette, I did only have a chance to try out 4 shades, however 2 of them were shimmers and 2 of them were mattes. As I said, based on the first impressions, only thing that I would say that if you have been eyeing this palette is that in terms of like matte shades, there isn't actually that many to go, like that many variation. There are like the matte shades are all quite basic neutral shades, so the exciting stuff in this palette is definitely on the shimmers. There seems to be like a couple of shimmer formulas, like as I said, the dark one that I used in the outer corner today, that seemed to be very creamy, quite opaque. And then the sort of memory shade, which was this orangey shade over here, that's actually more like a topper-like shade that you did have to build. But so far, pretty impressed, and as I said, also quite impressed with the packaging. This feels pretty heavy, but this is going to be appearing in my palette review now that it's in my 2-week rotation. So at some point when I'll be doing a collective palette review video, I will sort of tell my final conclusions about this one. Also, the products that I did like, so far this blush seems pretty nice. Have to keep trying this out and see how this compares with other cream blushes, but at least like first impression is pretty good. I didn't have any issues with the blending or anything like that. Just maybe a note, this seems to be the more like pigmented formula, so if you buy any of the deeper shades, maybe start out a bit slower. The lip products also, it's looking pretty nice, and I did like the more sort of cool tone shape that I got this in, but again, something I will keep trying on. Feels like, as I said, feels pretty great on the lips, but if you think this is going to be more a sheer balmy formula, then this is not a like product that you're looking for, because this definitely like packs also quite a lot of pigment from the first application onto your lips. Perhaps like the only product that so far, but this is a preference thing, so the highlighter, it's definitely like work. It is definitely like a highlighter. But with this one, I would say that consider that what is your highlighter preferences, because as I said, this is a very like blingy highlighter. So if you're looking for something subtle, this is not for you. But just thinking about like generally that if you want a more visible highlighting formula, this could be also a good option again, because as I said, the price of these are quite decent on the drugstore side, so yeah. But anyway, this was my sort of first impression. Comment down below, have you tried out Moira? What are your favorite products from the brand? And if you haven't tried out the brand, at least based on my first impressions, I would say that maybe if it's a brand that's accessible to you, then maybe pick out a couple of products and see what you think about them. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from my future content. You can also find me with the nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope I'll be seeing you in another video soon. Bye bye!